City Council meeting to order of June 3rd, 2021. Roll call, please.
Alderman Catalano.
Here.
Alderman Jacob.
Here.
Alderman Messina.
Here.
Alderman Sorrentino.
Here.
Alderman Sismarski.
Here.
Alderman Woods.
Here.
Alderman Curielli.
Here.
Alderman Mays. Here.
And I'm
And
here.
Mayor, please.
Full
I'm here.
council.
Quorum present. Please stand and join the Pledge of Allegiance.
All eight are here.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first up, I need a motion to approve the minutes of May 20, 2021.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, corrections, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Next, do any citizens wish to be heard on matters not listed on the agenda? Okay, no written communique this week. Nothing under mayor's report. Mr. Murma, city manager's report.
Thank you. I have one item tonight. The city is excited to officially kick off the summer events season with its First Sounds of Summer concert featuring the 4 C Notes. That's going to be tomorrow on Friday, June 4th at 7 p.m. in Community Square. Additional concerts, cruise nights, outdoor movies, and special events will take place over the summer months, including our regular one-time events such as Bike with the Cops on June 15th, Wooddale Police Night Out on August 3rd, and our annual Public Works Open House and Barbecue on September 2nd. The city is excited to bring back its special events to the community and looks forward to another successful event season. For full details, times, and information, obviously visit wooddale.com. For those of you that don't like to go on the internet, I will just read off the list briefly for those of you at home. June 4th, the 4 C Notes concert. June 15th, Bike with the Cops. June 18th, American English concert. June 21st, Cruise Night. June 16th, Modern Day Romeos concert. June 19th, a Cruise Night. July 16th, Modern Day Romeos. July 19th, Cruise Night. July 23rd, Outdoor Movie. August 3rd, National Night Out with the Police Department. August 16th, another Cruise Night. August 20th, Outdoor Movies. August 27th, Johnny Rustler and the Beach Bum Band. September 2nd, Public Works Open House. September 10th, Outdoor Movie. September 17th through the 19th, the citywide garage sale. September 24th, another outdoor movie, which would be the last one of the season. And October 2nd, the Green Fair. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, consent agenda. We have nothing this evening. Go to committee chairman reports, planning, zoning, and building. Alderman Woods.
I have one report, Mayor. A resolution authorizing the City of Wooddale to enter into a purchase and sale agreement for the sale of property commonly known as 364 to 376 East Irving Park Road, Wooddale, Illinois, permanent index number 0515-206, 015, and 0315-206-016.
Second.
That is my motion.
Second that motion.
Okay. Alderman Sismarski, second. Any questions, comments?
Most certainly, there are some questions.
Alderman Woods, go ahead.
So, so as not to make it last too long, the big one is there's really no lockdown date or drop dead date to close the piece of property as I read the contract.
Mr. Bond.
To close or?
To close,
Yeah,
to
there's,
physically purchase.
that is sort of true. There's due diligence dates, and so it's after, following the conclusion of the due diligence date. So that's built in, so it will come, there's a time frame set forth in there for closing upon the completion of that. They want to do environmental and some other studies on the property.
but I didn't see any
Alderman
time-
Woods?
Oh, thank you. There was no time frame for the due diligence, though.
Mr. Bond?
Yeah, there's a provision for the, for them to do under the pre-closing, I think it's a pre-closing condition, let me get that section.
Go ahead, Mr. Bond.
They've got a finance contingency, they've got the inspection, they're gonna do
But
the
the-
inspection.
Hold on.
And
Go ahead.
it follows that timeline. After that, after those are completed, then the closing occurs. It's got the due diligence and the conclusion of finance contingency on a date agreed upon by buyer and seller not less than 15 days after the contingencies are satisfied.
Alderman Woods, follow-up?
Thank you. But none of those really have a drop dead date or set specific time. So the finance contingency, right, so that just requires that they get approval for a loan, not actually carry through on the loan. And then there is verbiage about submitting for the permit within a 12-month period, but you still wouldn't be, you still theoretically could not be closed on the property. My only concern is that this isn't open-ended, and I think that we could add a little language to put a definite date to where they have to move forward or end the deal. I'm not interested in getting into, 3 years, 2 years, waiting for something to get done and then it doesn't get done. And they subsequently be locking up that piece of property for a minimal $10,000 deposit. That's my concern.
Mr. Bond?
Right, and they had some language they wanted to, prevent us from marketing and doing so forth, so that was all taken out in light of the fact that there may be some times associated with that, but there are, again, if you want to put a closing date, no later than, I think that certainly is reasonable. It's contemplated they'll have all of that concluded in the next 45 days. They have their financing fairly set up from what I understand, so it should be relatively quick.
So-
But I-
Follow-up?
I- I
Go ahead.
understand.
Yeah. Well, question, comment. So I'm okay, we don't have to have an absolute drop dead, so if we say that finance contingency is X amount of days and due diligence period is X amount of days without any further extension by agreement between the attorneys or something, and the adding up, it was like none of those things, all those pieces exist, but they didn't have any time frame attached to them. So I wasn't able to add that up and go, okay, theoretically, they have to be closed by minimally 9 months to 12 months. So the way it's written now, at least it appears that could go on for 2 years.
Mr. Bond?
Yeah, in paragraph 1.05 as a contingencies, we've got to give them any, and we don't have any environmental reports we have on the property, and then 60 days after this timeline, then they have to have gotten all of that completed or it can be terminated. So, but I'll put some language in there to get a more definitive
Yeah,
date.
if you would, that
And
would satisfy me.
And a question, like we did in the past with another property, we had a reverter clause, I believe it was called.
Yes.
Is that in here? I take
It is.
Yes,
It's,
I thought so, okay.
There's a provision in Article 5.02, subparagraph C, that the buyer will file or cause to be filed within 1 year from the date of execution from this agreement, an application for permit with the seller to construct a proposed restaurant on the property, except for good cause shown, the failure, if we get a pandemic or something.
Right.
The failure buyer to file said application for a permit within the time frame set forth herein shall constitute a material breach of this agreement. Seller shall at its option be entitled to have the property revert back to the seller. And then we'd have in the deed itself, it's a special warranty deed, we'd have a reverter clause built into the deed.
Right, the understanding was they're probably gonna start this fall, I think. Yeah, Mr. Cage is shaking his head, yes. Okay.
So,
Just wanna make sure it doesn't sit vacant for,
no, and they were, according to the, my conversation was with the attorney, I know Mr. Cage's was with the developer, but they want to be able to move and get this buttoned up really quickly.
okay.
And they know there's no environmental, they don't anticipate any environmental on the property, but they just have to do their due diligence.
Right. Any other questions?
None.
Alderman Jacob.
My only question is, wouldn't we want to make sure that financially they could afford the property before we go through all of this? I mean, did we
Mr. Bond?
qualify them at all to make sure that they're, they could afford to do this purchase?
Mr. Bond?
Yeah, well, I don't know that we're qualified to qualify them, on the one hand. I mean, they're looking for financing, there's some contingency. They're setting up a new corporation, it's a limited liability corporation, which is not unusual for specific projects. And that's why the draft I had for you before, they hadn't had that one set up. I put in the 364 to 376 East Irving Park Road LLC. It's now got the proper name of Marseille or something LLC. But that's an expense that the bank or their finance, whoever they're financing through, would go through, rather than devote staff time and only to find out we've spent staff time and they can't get it. That was a waste of the staff time. So it's a more efficient use of the resources to have it done on their dime and their lender's dime than have it done on our dime.
Okay.
So, and again, it's a short, relatively short period, so.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Ames. Yes.
Okay.
That is the end of my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Under Public Health, Safety, Judiciary, and Ethics, Alderman Sismarski.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Works, Alderman Messina.
Yes, a world record, 10 reports, Mayor. First, an ordinance declaring property owned by the city of Wooddale surplus for the purpose of selling. 2, approval of final payment
Wait,
for the,
no,
Wait.
one at a
sorry,
time.
okay, that's my motion.
Second.
Have to do a roll call.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions on this? Roll call.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes,
Alderman Sorrentino.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
And Alderman Ames. Yes.
And that passes.
second report, approval of final payment for the fiscal year 2021 Parkway Tree Pruning Program in the amount of $43,516.
Is that your motion?
That is not my motion.
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Who's the second?
Tony was first. Any questions? Alderman Messina, you got a question?
No, good.
Okay, any other questions? Roll call.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes,
Alderman Sorrentino.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
And Alderman Ames. Yes.
Okay, that passes. A quick question for the attorney. Since these are all construction easements, can we do these all at once, or should we do one at a time?
As long as no one on the council has any issue with any of the ones that are on there, they can be done in an omnibus vote, but you still have to identify each, in the motion, each specific one.
Correct.
And it can be done in a unified vote.
consolidated.
Well, you're just gonna make a motion to approve and just read all of them, and it'll be a singular motion. to approve all
Not
those.
stopping, okay.
Yeah.
Unless, does anyone have any objections before?
I want to make them read.
Stop these. So,
So start reading them?
sure. Resolution approving a permanent easement at 249 Lincoln Court for the Ward 2 and 3 Stormwater Improvement Project. A resolution approving a permanent easement at 250 Robin Lane for the Ward 2 and Ward 3 Stormwater Improvement Project. A resolution approving a permanent easement at 255 Lincoln Court for the Ward 2 and 3 Stormwater Improvement Project. A resolution approving a permanent easement at 256 Robin Lane for the Ward 2 and 3 Stormwater Improvement Project. A resolution approving a temporary construction easement at 249 Lincoln Court for the Ward 2 and 3 Stormwater Improvement Project. A resolution approving a temporary construction easement at 250 Robin Lane for the Ward 2 and 3 Stormwater
Hold on
Improvement
one
Project.
second. We have 250 Robin Lane twice?
One's a temporary
Temporary and
construction, and one's a permanent.
Oh, got it.
May I continue?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Resolution approving a temporary construction easement at 255 Lincoln Court for the Ward 2 and 3 Stormwater Improvement Project, and a resolution approving a temporary construction easement at 256 Robin Lane for the Ward 2 and 3 Stormwater Improvement Project. That is my long motion.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any questions on this?
Brief comment.
Mr. Bond?
Questions? I think it sort of goes, you know, these are fairly routine, but I will tell you that I work with Mr. Lang, and this does not come without a great deal of effort on his part to be able to do this and work with individual property owners with their individual needs, wants, and own
Desire.
value of their own, of their property. So he's a great ambassador to make that happen. He's got the personality to convince them that this is the right thing, and it is for the city, and to get them to agree to the terms that we've offered. So it's
Good job, Director.
Courtesy.
Keep you. That concludes my report, that
No,
concludes
we
my
have a
report.
motion,
No,
we
yeah,
have a
we'll-
second. Now, there's no questions, we need a roll call.
Looking off that
Alderman
easy.
Catalano,
Yes.
Alderman Jacob,
Yes.
Alderman Messina,
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino,
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski,
Yes.
Alderman Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Currielli,
Yes.
and Alderman Mays. Yes.
Okay, and that passes.
Now that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Finance and Administration, Alderman Catalano.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Under other business, airport noise, Alderman Jacob.
No report, Mayor.
Okay, under Stormwater Commission, any update on that Ward 2 and 3 project, Mr. Lang? When the start date is?
I'd be happy to. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
We actually had our pre-construction kickoff meeting with the contractor this week, and the earliest they can get on school property is after June 10th, when school lets out. So they'll begin some excavation activities on the property at that time. We are going to have a little bit of a delay waiting for the boxes to be made and delivered to the site. We're expecting those the week of the 28th, at which time they will begin laying those, and we are supposed to be off school property by August 18th. At which point we'll continue on with Squaw Creek and the residents on Lincoln and Robin Court.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, I have a question.
Alderman Catalano, go ahead.
Yeah, in reference to the Parkway grass, some of it's not taken. We are addressing that, Director Lang?
The contractor has
Right.
been watering 2 to 3 times a week, and any areas that do not come in fully will be rehydro-seeded and continue to be watered.
Okay, thank you.
They'll get that grass when they're done with the Elwood's grass.
Right.
No comment.
All right, next, approval of list of bills, Alderman Messina.
No, Catalano.
Catalano, sorry.
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the list of bills for June 3rd of 2021
Second.
in the amount of $2,471, 271.05.
That's your
That
motion?
is my motion.
Second.
Okay. Any questions, comments? All right, roll call.
Alderman Catalano,
Yes.
Alderman Jacob,
Yes.
Alderman Messina,
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino,
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski,
Yes.
Alderman Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Currielli,
Yes.
and Alderman Mays. Yes.
And that passes. We have no executive session this evening, no items to be referred. Need a motion to
I'll make the
adjourn.
motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.